Hello everyone, this is the Dalek Collectors set 2, originally released in 2009 at the SDCC, however with some minor changes, this is the B&M 2012 release. Before we start unboxing, let's have a look at the packaging. On the sides we have labelling panels, and on the back it goes into further detail if you would like to pause. On the top we have Gallifreyan symbols, and on the bottom we can see the paper ties. Let's get to unboxing. Okay, so here we have the first Dalek. I'm going to be doing an articulation whilst I'm talking about this. This is the Saucer Pilot Dalek from the Dalek Invasion of Earth, a 6-episode serial from Season 2 that aired from the 21st of November to the 26th of December 1964, making it technically the second ever Doctor Who Christmas special, which concluded with Susan making her iconic departure from the show. Right, so here's some trivia about this Dalek. The dish on the back has two purposes. One in show is to be a remote receiver for electricity, as this is how the Daleks were powered. However, the real purpose was a lot more practical. It served as easy maneuverability for the crew to move them around the set a lot easier. This specific Dalek, however, only appears at the end of episode 2, and it never makes a reappearance. Another Dalek from the first Doctor release in San Diego Comic-Con is called the Dalek Saucer Commander. Character options have marked these Daleks as different Dalek types and ranks. However, it actually turns out that they are the same Dalek, that they just didn't finish painting the Dalek the previous week. But yeah, it was basically confirmed by the subtitles in the episodes. They are the same Dalek, just different paint job. I just thought that was quite interesting. Anyway, so let's talk about the actual figure, some character options trivia. There's a lot of similarities between this figure and some others, including the Dead Planet Dalek drone and the genesis of the Daleks, with the only big outlier is that there's a larger base fender. It's the first time that the dish appeared. That's pretty much everything for the first Dalek. Now, on to the second Dalek. This is the Emperor's Guard Dalek from the Evil of the Daleks, a mostly missing 7-episode serial from the end of Season 4 that aired from the 20th of May to the 1st of July 1967. Only episode 2, where Victoria Waterfield is first introduced, is held in the BBC archives. The other 6 episodes remain missing, however, an animated version was released in 2021. It is the Dead Planet Dalek model repainted with a black head. The gun and slats are different, they are taken from the Genesis Daleks, appearing more commonly in the 70s and the 80s. Another difference from the Dead Planet Daleks is the eye stalk, although more or less the same. The Daleks' rings are individual, rather than being a big conjoined clump of rings. The headlamps are wrong and should look more like this than ping pong balls. A bit of trivia about the Evil of the Daleks is that the real-life Dalek creator, not Davros, Mr. Terry Nation was trying to sell the Daleks to American television at the time, and Evil of the Daleks was intended to give it a big send-off from the series. They did not reappear for 5 years until the Day of the Daleks. In 1993, it was voted that The Evil of the Daleks was the best ever Doctor Who story in a poll created for the 30th anniversary. That's crazy, in my opinion, but good episodes. On to the third Dalek. There's not going to be a lot to talk about this one. This is the Supreme Dalek from the Day of the Daleks, a 4-episode serial from Season 9, airing from the 1st of January to the 22nd of January 1972. This figure shares similar assets from other figures, much like the other two in the collection, and if I'm being honest, it's very fitting that they are, as the real-life Daleks were more or less just repaints and different assets from each one. There's just marginal differences. However, this is the most inaccurate Dalek within this collection to their on-screen appearances, as this Supreme Dalek featured a gold mesh around the neck. This was later resolved in a re-release from B&M in 2021. Right, quick little tangent. I have my friend, the Nerd Corner. He's going to say a couple things about this set. Over to Patrick.
Recently, this story was animated. Again.
Thank you very much, Patrick, from the Nerd Corner. So, in conclusion, what do I think about this set? We're going to rate each Dalek, and then we're going to rate the box itself. Dalek 1, on a scale of coolness, 8 out of 10. That's quite high. This set and the Dalek Collection Set 1 are actually the first to introduce the classic Daleks. It's definitely the earliest Dalek that I own as of now. The rarity, I'd say it's 8 out of 10. Due to the fact earlier that I said about the paint job, it makes it a very, very unique Dalek to have. It's only appeared ever once. The likeliness to the one on screen is just 9 out of 10. Phenomenal. Expectation. So as someone who's just gotten back into Doctor Who figures, did I ever think in my mind that they would ever make something like this? I'd say yeah, I kind of expected it to eventually be done. I didn't think how big character options range would get, but I'd say that's a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Dalek number 2, the coolness scale, I'd say probably a a 9 out of 10. It's a very, very early on Dalek, my second oldest Dalek that I own. It's only ever seen in screen grabs and animated depictions of it, so it's very unique. I'd say for rarity, it's I'd say 8 out of 10. Definitely a very iconic Dalek. The likeliness, it's just a tiny bit different with the headlamps being the wrong colour and shape. Obviously there's imperfections in the model, but it's very, very, very close. Expectations, I'd say 7 out of 10. And now to Dalek number 3. Coolness is, I'd say, a 7 out of 10. It was the first ever Supreme Dalek. Back then, a gold Dalek was unheard of, so amazing. They're really making the most out of the colour television. I think it was definitely something that influenced the new bronze Daleks from 2005. Rarity, I'd say actually rarer than the other two that are in a set. I've learned that a lot of people have disliked this Dalek over the years because of the gold mesh. Because this is an error, this is rarer than having the accurate one, because people customized this and a mistake is unique. Likeliness, 7 out of 10. Looks great. Expectation for Dalek number 3, I'd say, you know, as choices for a classic Dalek go, it's quite up there as a to be chosen, so I'd say 7 out of 10. And now onto the collection as a whole. I think on a coolness scale it is definitely a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Rarity, I'd say 6 or a 7 out of 10 as well. Likeliness, 8 out of 10 overall. Expectation, I'd say 7 out of 10. You can never really anticipate what kind of sets they would make, especially back when it first started. You know, a lot of people have said with the set, it's just a bit of a random collection. You know, the first set you had some very iconic ones, and I still think these are very iconic. Again, I'm not too surprised, but I'm also, you know, I would never have guessed. Overall, I give this set a 7 out of 10. Lovely set, very happy with it, and as it is my first classic set that I've ever owned, hats off to it. Right, yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'm very excited to keep making content on this channel. It's going to cost me a pretty penny, but hopefully the uploads don't take too long. Please subscribe, like, you know, share it with your friends, your Whovian friends who enjoy Doctor Who figures just as much as I do. Goodbye.